Hello, everyone. We are back. It is the Canadian Bowler Show. I am Michael Patulli, joined by my fabulous co-host Daryl Fitzgerald. How are you doing today, Daryl?
Pretty good. Bowl season's winding down. All my playing is over with, but I'm really ramping up for the Canadian Bowler Open. That's going to be the big finish to the year.
Yeah, no, it's like the dog days of August at this point. I guess we're getting down to what? Well, we have national results to toss your way, and with the U25s and the juniors are starting out tomorrow there. So, really are in the dog days of August for Canadian Bulls, but it's going to be a exciting month and a bit for both of us here because, as you're saying, Canadian Bowler Open shortly after the nationals. So going to be a busy little while here, so very excited to get a show out of the way. Since we are here, going to do our normal reminders to hit those like, comment, subscribe buttons. So please do hit those buttons, leave us comments. We love interacting with all the people in chat. And then hitting those buttons really does just drive the channel forward. Canadian Bowler Open realistically doesn't happen unless you hit those buttons. So please do hit them. It helps us out immensely. We are on every major podcasting platform within the week of the show. So if that's your jam, you're a podcaster, you can check the show out within the week. And then we're on YouTube same day, so you can check us out. Not live as well. We'll be there right now, actually. So we got a couple sponsors, I guess we can mention. So sponsor of the show and the Canadian Bowler Open, we got bullsincanada.com. So they're the Henselite supplier for North America. Great selection of bowls. Last show I had my brand new Tiger 2s, which I purchased from them. They're able to get in the beautiful momentum colors. Quadrant, I believe, is what their new thing they're calling. Slice, meaning you each have a set of slice bowls as well. Quadrant is what they're calling this new 4-color scheme. I love them. Great bowls, great selection. And then Jimmer is terrific to deal with. So if you do need a set of bowls, they have a great stock list and they would be able to help you out pretty much at any time. So do check out their website, bullsincanada.com. So I guess we can move on past that initial. What do we want to lead with there, Daryl? I don't know. Do we want to go on provincial results? Do we want to jump Canadian Bowler Open? What are you thinking?
How about we do some provincial results and then we'll hop into something else. So.
Yes, that's kind of where I was wondering too. Is that I feel like those results maybe are worthwhile dropping in there first because we don't have all that much because the last show we covered a lot and a lot of the major provincial results, but we do have the results here. So I'm just looking in the chat before we get going. I see we have John and Cameron chirping in there at us. So John's happy for the show, and Cameron.
I didn't get the three-peat.
Perfect. It had to die, and a certain guy made sure it died, right?
That's right.
Yeah, stole it from your clutches. It's hilarious. So I'm looking forward to Cam joining the show. I think that's like the new prerequisite is if you win the Betker, you have to take over the Canadian Bowler podcast. So looking forward to next episode when Cam takes over and takes over all the technical stuff that you cover for me. So perfect. So provincials, the results we didn't really get to last time. We had part of their results, but now we have the full results. So the province of Manitoba has concluded their provincials. So we'll just go through the full docket of what they have. I'm not sure if you have the image there, Daryl, or no.
I don't have the image, but we can talk through it.
So it's not on the screen though. So for men's singles, Bob Van Willingham won the men's singles. Women's singles was won by Betty Van Willingham. Women's pairs was won by Shirley Fitzpatrick Wong and Clarice Fitzpatrick. Men's pairs was won by Jerome Kirby and Rod Rose. Men's triples, Brian Coleman, Leo Dusablon, and John Bjornson. Women's triples, Betty Van Wallingham, Jillian McMurtry, and Cheryl Shudrick. The men's fours was Jerome Kirby, Brian Coleman, Leo Dusablon, and John Bjornson. And then the women's fours was Shirley Fitzpatrick Wong, Clarice Fitzpatrick, Marilyn Barron, and Paulette Abraham. So Perfect. The website was updated, got us all the info we needed there. So congratulations to all those players. A lot of familiar names out of Manitoba, kind of the usual suspects and the players that have been to nationals many, many times. Do you have any thoughts there, Daryl?
No, I mean, the names are kind of a mixture of who I expected to see coming out of Manitoba, and you see them multiple times. So Jerome twice, Shirley and Clarice twice, John Bjornsson twice, Leo twice, and then you got a mixture of Betty in a couple times as well. So not too shocking, but some pretty quality teams coming out of Manitoba.
Perfect. Yeah, so then I guess we can move on past that one on to BC. So my last show, we kind of vented, complained per se that it was difficult to find results, but we had people personally feed us results, so that was very helpful. Because I was able to piece together the winner of the men's pairs, but I now know who won the other medals. So BC men's pairs, they had 28 teams. The winners were Ryan Pollard and Kerry Mans. So congratulations to them. Silver went to James Chen and Paul Lee. Third place went to James McGowan and Aaron Almeida. So congratulations to everyone there. For the women's, we had 14 teams. They had 14 teams in their women's pairs. The winner was Mary Wright and Fanny Young. Silver went to Lisa Chung and Lisa Hansen. And bronze went to Barbara Heisch and Lisa Doe. So congratulations to everybody there. Some familiar names kind of across the board, I guess, if we're thinking about it. Sort of the longtime medalists from BC, like Kerry Mans is, I think almost every year we see his name as one of their qualifiers. James McGowan, nice to see his name back there. He was in the chat last time, so congrats to James to get a medal. I know this year he was saying he's just getting back into it, so great to see his name there again. He's also signed up for the Canadian Bowler Open, so right. We'll get to see him there. That's going to be pretty awesome. Women, Mary Wright, I think, long time, multiple time winner. So Mary Wright. And then Barbara in bronze was at the Canadian Bowler Open last year, also there this year. So some familiar names. So congratulations to everyone there.
Yeah.
Do you want to cover the singles?
Yeah. Men's singles, they had 40 entries. That's a lot of entries for singles. Gold went to Kinan Lau. Silver went to Mehdi Barami. And bronze went to Stephen Young. On the women's side, they had 24 entries. Gold went to Linda Ng. Silver went to Diane Brynjolfsson. And then bronze went to Zoe Chan.
Yeah, congratulations there. Again, I think kind of you're cutting on it again. A lot of the names, repeat names we're seeing. So Kinan had previously qualified in the triples, so we're seeing him there again, and he's, I think, gotten to quarterfinals in the old singles format when it used to be sort of open. He's always been a very prolific singles player, so not surprised to see his name. And then Linda Ng is probably one of the top players out of BC at this point, we'd say, a national team member, and always seems to be in around the podium. So congratulations to her. It'll be nice to see both of them, next week, I guess, in Edmonton.
Yeah.
That's what John's saying there in the chat. So he left a comment. He's excited to play Jerome in the pairs and fours. Seen him in many national events, but never gone to actually play him. So, yeah. Cool. That's a fun fact. Yeah. Sometimes you see a player around for a long time and you maybe have never played them. So then that's kind of a cool thing. It's kind of one thing I said with Pat Bird. I think I've only ever played Pat Bird in singles once before. I believe it wasn't a very close game, but I get to play him again this year at the Nationals when he's been all over singles for forever. And I just never personally played much singles at the Nationals. So very cool to always get those people that you haven't played much before. So I guess we want to go into if we're sticking with it, kind of results, do you want to go into the Atlantic Bowls results?
Yeah. Thanks to John Seitman for sending us all these updates. Really do appreciate when people send us the stuff that the province is doing. It really helps. It really helps out. And I have some pictures for this. So, just to kick it off, they had a big money tournament. The Wanderers, there's open pairs that John wanted to shout out. So, one of their big cash tournaments, 14 teams battling for $1,400 in prize money, and the winners were Tammy Foster-Vino and Jackie Foster, who defeated friend of the show Cameron Lafrane and Braden Campbell in the final 13-5. Moving on from that, Atlantic qualifiers. So we did, I think, a couple updates. Oh no, we didn't do a couple updates last time. So we have updates in the triples. So in the men's A final, Doug McLaren, Steve Bezanson, and Mike Stewart defeated Steve Ogden, Rick Fry, and Graham Usher 10-7 to claim top spot. And in the women's A final, Kathy Mills, Mayumi Endo, and Kelly Moore defeated Tammy Foster-Vino, Jackie Foster, and Lorraine Bezanson 17-13 to claim the top spot. In the B final, Ogden, Fry, and Usher defeated Charles Stock, Terry O'Neill, and Mike Ritchie 16-2. And in the women's B final, Tammy, Jackie, and Lorraine defeated Debbie Purdy, Joyce Anderson, and Charmaine Cameron 14-9. On the pairs side for the qualifiers, in the men's A final, it was a battle of Ian McDonald and Jim Granville against Dave Vino and Jeff Vino, and McDonald and Granville won 19-7. In the women's A final, it was Anne-Marie Seitman and Vicky Balcom who won 14-9 over Debbie Purdy and Charmaine Cameron. In the B final, Dave Vino and Jeff Vino faced off against Gerald Hackenschmidt and Tim Jackson. Hackenschmidt and Jackson won 18-9 and took their spot at the Atlantic Bowls for Nova Scotia. And on the women's B final, Debbie Purdy and Charmaine Cameron faced off against Lindsay Lafrane and Patty Granville, and Lafrane and Granville won 18-8. So some Atlantic results from Nova Scotia. Pretty cool. The Atlantic Championship is a really big deal out in the East, and is definitely something that we want to promote because it's something that they definitely need out there, and I think it's good for all those provinces to be involved there.
Yeah, it honestly makes me incredibly jealous and miss the Tri-Prov we used to have here. It was probably my favorite tournament of the year, honestly. I almost enjoyed it more than Nationals every year just because it was 3-4 days on that July-August long weekend, and we got to play pretty good, like obviously Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta are usually pretty solid teams across the board. So it was always a fun event, and I do miss it. So I'm glad that they do take it pretty seriously out there in the East. And obviously with the results, it's going to be exciting for all those people to go to New Brunswick later this summer here.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Like we haven't had anything like that in Ontario. We do have the Governor General's championship kind of up north, so it's mainly up towards the Ottawa area against Quebec. We've had kind of a Premier League setup here at one point where we had interclub, but it would be really cool to have more of these things because you can see names that you don't necessarily see at nationals because possibly they have no interest or they haven't made it before, but they have a chance here and they get to play with kind of the larger team of Nova Scotia against other provinces. And that'd be really cool to see other places as well, because I think that's something that's missing in bowls. Nationals is one thing, but that interprovince, the stepping stone there, that's a missing piece.
Well, maybe we can create the Bulls Hunger Games for Ontario and allow each district to send their tributes, play each other, get that sort of within the province play. You guys are such a big province that you could probably figure that out. I think you have 16 districts. There we go. We'll call the Bulls Hunger Games, sponsored by the Canadian Bowler. Maybe we'll see if we can figure that out come next year.
Yeah.
No, it's fun to have sort of those feeder events because I think it's really important for the development of athletes, especially you get someone who's maybe newer to the sport, hasn't played much competitively. When you play in an event that's maybe not nationals, but it's still competitive and you're playing against kind of the elite competition, it helps you develop and really kind of learn the game. So definitely a huge component to the developing and getting those players to the higher level. So very cool.
It gives you that that big event feel without it actually being like a nationals or an international. Like you don't just have to jump into it. It gives you at least a feeler for kind of the pressure and the, wanting to play for the team and playing for your province and all that kind of stuff. It's a cool way to do it.
Yeah, well said. So I think if we're just rolling with event results, we might as well roll into WOBA. We did our last show immediately before I departed for WOBA, so we can talk about that. I don't know if I really want to talk about it. I bowled well. I think I think Statnik had said I was 1 win away from player of the tournament because I did play very well, but my team kind of had mixed results. So it was, I think we technically finished 5th or 6th. If there was a 5th, 6th game, we would have been in a sort of a playing position, but didn't quite make the medal rounds. So in 4th place was, I guess the winners is, so we'll just do that the other way, the champions. So the champions of the tournament were Team Gallipo. So we had Eric Gallipo, Rob Gallipo, Dave Llewellyn, Hang Lee, and Rick Lyons. So congratulations to them. 2nd place went to Dave Defoe, Glenn Patton, Mark McFadden, Mark Pearson, and Vince Donahue. What's wrong, Daryl? What are you laughing at?
Just my spelling mistake in the notes.
Okay, sorry.
Gellin,
I thought I'd done something wrong.
No.
Third place was Team Olthoff, so Cody Olthoff, Jack Fowler, Cam LaFren, Dylan Jacobs, and Kevin Spracklin. And 4th place was a bunch of schlunkers. Beautiful shirts, though. Ryan Blair, Jake Masterson, Mike McNorton, Darrell Fitzgerald, and Owen Kirby.
Best looking team on the greens, I'll tell you.
Yep.
Maybe not the first day when you were wearing the shirts, but
no. Very nice shirts. Again, shameless plug if you want them. They are available in very limited quantities. So if you do like the Canadian Bowler shirt for this year, I would highly advise you to send us an email to CanadianLawnBowler@gmail.com because we are very low on certain sizes. I think we literally have one of a couple sizes left, 2 different sizes. So very low on sizes. If you're interested, please do send us an email because they are disappearing very, very quickly this year. So,
Rick Lyons in the chat having better's remorse for betting on Cam's team again.
Yeah, you should just know never to bet on Cameron. He's just can't hold up his end of the bargain. But if we kind of look at WOBA as a whole, it was very nice to see Cavan on their team again. I don't think I hadn't seen Cavan in a decade, so it was very cool to see Cavan again. He was around WOBA a lot kind of in my older days when I went to London because his mom played in it quite a bit. So very cool to see Cavan back. That final was about as close as it could have been, I think, because it went to plus minus back and forth. But Team Gallipo, I believe, had a very good game in the singles and got a big plus minus, and then they just couldn't cover it in the other games. So direct split, but not surprising. They played great all week. So both of those teams, the top 2 teams were kind of leaps and bounds above everyone else all week. So I wasn't shocked to see them in the final there. And then you guys also in that 3rd, 4th game played very well all week too.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Good weather, always a ton of fun. Like win, lose or draw. It was really, really fun. Especially the fact that I had absolutely no luck against you. Some greasy narrow balls and some misdrives. It wasn't for a lack of trying, Mike. I'll tell you that.
If anyone needs to know what we're talking about, Daryl was down, I believe, 6 or 5, and he came incredibly narrow and wicked off of a short bull and got second shot. So we only got 1 instead of 6, but that was the first end, and then I believe it was the second or third end. I threw a drive and somehow found a hole, or I lifted a bull up, but it didn't remove the bull, and then I didn't get the jack as I went by as well. So it was just one of those good moments where I think I would have picked his bull for 3 or 4. Yeah. So yeah, we had a fun match. I ended up winning anyways. So
yeah, it doesn't matter.
It kind of it was irrelevant in the end, but I was very worked up over it because in the first 3 ends I did not have very good bounces. But that's why we all bowl. We love it, I guess, right?
Absolutely, that's right.
So yeah, congratulations to everyone again. WOBA is a great tournament. If you haven't been, I highly recommend it. It is probably the premier men's tournament in Ontario every year, and even Canada. I would say it's probably if you want a great week of bowls with all the tournaments to sort of surround it with the Betker, Milton Skins, the KO Classic, I'll call it, at Woodstock the day or two after. Great bowls all across that week. So if you want to spend a week in Ontario, highly recommended. Maybe next year looking into it. So, what do you want to just go through all of our results and then name bowler?
Let's do that.
Okay, let's just keep pounding them through. We got lots to cover.
Well, this one's a tough one. So,
go ahead.
Pair of results.
I think Pobo was first.
Pobo was first. Do we have Pobo? Okay, let's do Pobo first. I do have images.
So yeah, pile of bowls open. Regina, Saskatchewan. It was last weekend. So it was hosted here in Regina. I was originally supposed to play, was not able to play, had some family commitments I had to attend to, so I had to bow out. My mom graciously took my spot. The winners, I don't have the name in front of me. Is it the Hay Bale Rustlers? Is that what they were called there?
Hay Bale Rustlers, that's right.
Yeah, so the Hay Bale Rustlers, Pat Bird, Ozzy Chambers, Mark Stula, John Bjornson. So a team of all of Western Canada. They managed to get a guy from each province for all of Western Canada. Kind of a cool little team they threw together, but they bowled great, and they won the final against the Rusty Spurs, which was Joanna Cooper. Am I from Boston? Jordan Koss, and then Carter Watson and Brandon Watson. So the defending champs got to the final again, and they ended up not quite pulling it through, but nicely done to them. Third place was the Trailblazers, so the team I was on last year. So my mother, Harriet Patuli, Murray Patuli, John Patuli, and Daryl Hanoski. In fourth place was the team they call themselves Clan. So that was Linda Eng, Nathaniel Huey, Clayton Huey, and Andre Dufour. So they played in that 3-4 game against the Trailblazers. So congratulations, everyone. Looked like it was, greens are running pretty good, and they had a lot of fun. I know that's kind of a fun tournament where they've incorporated the theme pretty heavily. So you sort of saw with the trophy that the Hay Bale Rustlers are there, and everyone's kind of got these funny team names, or I guess Western inspired team names. So very cool, and always happy to bring the results.
Oh, CLAN. I didn't get it. CLAN is the first initials of every person in it. So well played.
Okay. That makes much more sense now. I was kind of confused when I originally saw it. I was like Simon Fraser Clan is the name of like the university team. I wasn't sure if like there was something that I'm just missing, but that makes 100% sense now. Well said.
Nice.
So yeah, we can move on to the results you were talking about. So we have national results. Would have just concluded yesterday, and Daryl and I agreed with this, that we were disappointed is the word we're going to use here. So we're disappointed that there has not really been coherent results posted on the Para Championship, which concluded yesterday, through Facebook posts by the players. And if you watch, so Bulls Canada did stream the live event. You can watch to the end of the event or the video and probably piece together who there was, but Daryl and I didn't watched the 3 videos, but the winner of the men's, is it physical impairment? Yeah, I think is what they call it, was Andy Caldwell. So I believe that's 3 in a row for Andy.
Yeah, and he went undefeated too.
Yeah.
Through this event. So yeah, huge win. I mean, he's the man as far as these para results go. He's just winning gold every time he goes out there. So good for Andy.
You can go, Daryl.
Second place went to Jack Smart from Alberta. Actually, Jack and Andy play pairs, I think, internationally, and they'll be playing in Canadian Bowler Open together and in singles as well. So we'll see them out there competing. And then bronze went to Gene Stairs from New Brunswick, as you can see pictured there. We had a little more difficulty deciphering the visually impaired results. I know that just from results, and because she's from my club, Louise McLean from Ontario, she went undefeated and took the gold, but we couldn't quite tell based on their VI ranking. They have like a number associated with them based on how much they can see and how much they can't. Who was the other kind of gold medalists and silver medalists and bronze medalists that were out there? So they each had as John said in there, they each had their own winner, but it was hard to decipher based on just the sheet that was up on Bowls Canada.
Yeah, like I have a picture of what John's talking about. Rounds 8 to 10 is what we screenshotted in our notes here. So I'll read off what it says. If we're going to kind of deduce, and that's what he's saying, if this is what it's meaning. So Barbara McIsaac beat Elizabeth Mayo 19 to 9. So I'm wondering if that's for that VI category championship. Then Louise McLean, as you said, won 19 to 4 against James Gately from BC, and then Sheila Grieve from BC defeated Elizabeth Binney from BC. So that would conclude the visual, and yeah, we covered the other results there because they would went from a semifinal to a final for the other ones. So yeah, congratulations to everyone there. I'm a big proponent or big fan of para, so I'm very happy that it's there. It's continuing to grow. Like, it looks like pretty much every year they keep getting 1 or 2 more players, it seems. Kind of unfortunate that it really is, 3 provinces predominantly that we're pretty much seeing, and then not so much from other ones. So hopefully it's going to continue to grow, or hopefully some other provinces can maybe get some additional players. I think it's a huge opportunity, especially with all the international stuff that we're seeing, like the World Cup, everything like that. They're really expanding and kind of honing in on para, and I believe it's a big opportunity for really anyone that wants to focus on it or get additional new members to their club. They're very high-end bowlers. Like everyone's going to see at the Canadian Bowler Open, Jack and Andy are going to be able to hold their own with pretty much anybody out there, and it's really just quite awesome to watch them play. And very excited to see Jack and Andy bowl together actually at the Canadian Bowler Open. Yeah,
absolutely. I can tell you from playing Andy in Ontario, I owe him a couple games. So
yeah, like until they brought out para 3-4 years ago, I'd bowled Andy a couple times myself, and solid, very high quality bowler. And so the fact that he's able to also play in para as well now is a huge thing for all those players to have that full opportunity for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations to them. Very excited that's I guess concluded again this year. There's a lot of those names that we highlighted are part of the Atlantic Challenge that's coming up in September. A couple of them are also involved with the World Cup that we just referenced as well. So lots of opportunities, and we're probably going to be hearing a lot of these names for years to come for para in Canada.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what does that leave us? Does that just leave us with Canadian Bowler Open stuff now, Daryl?
We have the U25 preview. I have basically the players lists of what's going on. So the youth is kicking off. I guess their opening ceremonies was today to kick everything off. So they actually start competition tomorrow, I want to say. So yeah, we have under 18 boys and under 18 girls. As you can see here, 3 from Alberta, 4 from Ontario, and 2 from Saskatchewan. So a really good field from what it looks like. And for the under 18 girls, 3 from Alberta, 1 from BC, 2 from Ontario, and 2 from Saskatchewan. So Alberta, Ontario, and Saskatchewan are obviously the core provinces that are sending these players out. I'm actually really surprised there's not a lot more from BC area, because usually you see a good chunk from there. But hopefully we can start to grow some of the youth bowling in some of these other provinces and see a more widespread contingent coming out. Any thoughts on the under 18 boys and under 18 girls?
Well, it's a pretty solid field. There's been like kind of some aging out of the, I guess, multiple time champs or people that have won lots of medals and things in the past. So if we kind of look at the boys, I think we got a couple of the medalists from last year at the nationals there, but obviously Jack Fowler's not there. So pretty wide open. Pretty solid crew of guys from Ontario, and then a lot of the Alberta players have been there a couple times as well. We got some rookies from Saskatchewan, but very excited to see them get their shot there too as well. I think it's pretty well wide open. Could be really anyone's opportunity to win. Great Greens in Edmonton, so I'm excited to see how it shapes out and sort of how everyone plays, because it's probably one of my favorite memories, or was my favorite part of my bowling life, was sort of the fun and camaraderie that you have from bowling at the juniors. So very excited there. Ladies, kind of the same thing, but I think you got 2 or 3 of the returning medalists from last year, and then on Gwyneth, I think 2 years ago, because BC wasn't involved last year. She was a medalist from 2 years ago. So I think you've got a very high quality field there for the girls. I think a lot of these players, correct me if I'm wrong, I think everyone's actually played at a junior nationals before when I look at that list, maybe with the exception of Lily Wilkinson. But yeah, very solid field, and pretty well wide open. Could see a lot of the different names there potentially pulling it out. So very excited to see how it shapes out.
Yeah. And as John pointed out, and I was just going to say, there's you got Taryn Mitchell in there, who was actually qualified for nationals as well out of Alberta. So definitely a high level on the under 18 girls side. Under 25. So under 25 men, you've got a mix of new names and old names. If you've been watching some of the youth men bowl, you've got Brad Roden, Ozzie Chambers, Suhei Hui, Yu Hang Hui, Eric Gallipo, and Jake Masterson. And on the under 25 women, Kira Shiloh, Lucy Ewan, Bridget Masterson, Bailey Van Stein, and Amy Spence. So if you've been watching youth bowls at all, and especially like under 18 and under 25, those names should not be unfamiliar to you. So
yeah, it's the who's of the both sides there. Very strong fields for the men and the women. Pretty much I'd say, if we're naming the top players, as you're sort of saying, under the age of 25, looks like most of them or all of them are there. So be very exciting to see who pulls those out. Guess it's the first year that they're having this qualifier, and it doesn't directly determine who's representing Canada internationally.
Yeah, interesting.
Kind of the one little goofy quirk that they've made. So I think it's going to heavily probably influence who's selected, but again, you never know. But I obviously duking it out, try and win it. It's a pretty prestigious trophy. There's quite a few good guys that have played for Team Canada that have won that trophy. So guys and girls, sorry. So yeah, it'll be exciting to see who ends all those divisions. Very excited. You also got the Forster Langs pairs there listed as well, sort of the nightcap or the last games they play of each day. We're not going to go into detail with those ones. We don't need to list off every team, but if you're curious, bowlscanada.com does have the full listing of all the teams. They essentially try to split up U25 and U18 players and try and get them to play together, and kind of allows them to know new players or players from different provinces. So it's always a good way to build that camaraderie, as we sort of talked about.
Yeah, I'm looking at that under 25 men's field. Brad Roden, medalist from last year's Canadians. You got Eric, who just won WOBA, and Jake Masterson going to the Nationals, and he won a medal last year as well. So, I mean, pretty neat. Some young guys coming up and some really quality bowlers.
Yeah, very true. No, it's going to be an exciting week. I'm going to be checking daily just to see whatever happens in the results, because lots of names that I'm very curious to see how people end up doing.
Yeah, Mike and I will probably be chatting back and forth during the day, just shooting results and games and highlights. And
yeah, John went through the Forster Langs and he made the same comment. I don't know how Taryn and Eric arranged to be put on the same pairs team. I don't think that one's too fair. You're kind of talking about two of the favorites from each of the departments, so it's kind of dream draw type of a scenario for those ones. But obviously they have to keep playing all those games and see how it shapes out. You never know with the Forster Langs.
That's right.
Okay, so yeah, congrats to all those players. Good luck to them all. We'll be very excited to see who ends up pulling those all out. So, yeah, so we can move on then, I guess, to Canadian Bowler information. So we have, obviously in the previous shows, we talked quite a bit. Canadian Bowler Open, we're within the last month. We're within a month of the tournament at this point. We're roughly 3 weeks out. So Daryl and I have been spending lots and lots of time together over the last couple of weeks, doing work on draws, things like that. So we're very excited for it. We're going to run the event. We're huge amount of labor and love involved, but we're very excited to bring it to everyone again. We have been working with a sponsor who's been at the last few shows. You would have been seeing their videos. We've had some interviews with Harrison Healthcare. So Harrison Healthcare is the prize sponsor for the Canadian Bowler Open. They've part of that sponsorship that they have there for the prize sponsorship is that we've been running these interviews, and then during our live stream, we're going to also be kind of doing some, I guess, commercials per se when we're in between ends. So very excited to work with Harrison Healthcare. I guess maybe I'll let you do the intro to the video we got here today, Daryl.
Yeah, a really good one. Harrison Healthcare provided us, connected us with, I should say, Dr. Jen Day, who's a family physician with Harrison Healthcare, just talking about preventative healthcare and things that you should think about as a lawn bowler, and protecting your health. And as we know, we have a older demographic, so healthcare is always top of mind, and injury prevention and keeping healthy. So without further ado, we'll kick off the video.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Canadian Bowler Show. I'm Mike Petuli, and today we have Dr. Jen Day joining us from Harrison Healthcare. Welcome, Jen.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
So just going to give you the floor here just to sort of explain who you are and sort of what your role is there with Harrison.
That sounds good. Thanks. So I am a family physician here at Harrison Healthcare, and my job is to be a part of the team that supports our patients with our physiologists and our nurses and our dietitians. My background is prior to Harrison, I did a lot of work in hospitals and saw a lot of where preventive care can can take place. Personally, I am excited about mental health, women's health, and aging well. So I think the lawn bowling community is pretty awesome, and excited to chat about it.
To kick things off, you kind of said it in your introduction, but why is preventative healthcare so important?
Great question. It gives us the opportunity to identify risks early, catch potential issues, make lifestyle choices in the early times, doesn't matter what that timeline is, where you are in your life, in order to get our runway going well, to age well, and to catch things before they become an issue.
Thanks. Yeah, so I guess one of the things you sort of touched on in your intro as well was, I guess, the aging well, mental health aspects. Like, I think those are probably two kind of key aspects of lawn bowling and sort of the, I guess, initiatives or why people get involved in it. So what do you see sort of as, I guess, the health benefits or things that can be sort of gained by being involved in sport or lawn bowling specifically?
Yeah, so I think the big, specific to lawn bowling, I think there's a few aspects that are really important in overall health and preventive health. And I think number one is community, having connections and ties to an organized group, to a group of friends, to that team mentality is amazing for our mental health and helps us age well cognitively. Those who are more withdrawn and not connected are at higher risk of dementia later in life. And those who have less of a support group and a close-knit team on their side are more at risk of mental health. And from that perspective, I think it's a big deal. Physically, I love the idea of lawn bowling because it's low enough impact that you can participate no matter what your level of fitness is, whether you have some arthritis in your knees, whether you might not have run a marathon recently. It's a sport that includes everybody. And that allows us to have our regular physical activity. The goal is, in a perfect world, we're getting 30 minutes of moderate exercise a few times a week. And I think this gives anyone who participates an opportunity to do that. And once you're active, you're now in that world where you're preventing or protecting your cardiovascular health. And you're helping your bone health by doing good weight-bearing exercise as you're on the turf. And keeping a healthy weight, which helps us with diabetes and our joints later in life. So I think it includes everybody.
That's great. I identify myself as a pretty heavy introvert. If I could just stay in my room and be fine, that would be me. But I do find that going on and lawn bowling, meeting people, seeing the faces out there and having a good time actually lifts my spirits quite a lot and helps fill those jars back up of things that we're missing. So that's really good.
That's great.
When we're talking about kind of changing lifestyle and looking at things that we can improve, usually, I know for myself, usually I see it as I'm going to have to do some big overhauls. I'm going to have to really change my routines and what I eat and what I do. Can you tell us what even doing some of these or some really small changes can do for our health? Absolutely.
And I think you're hitting the nail on the head, where if you start to see it as a big task or a big overhaul, it can seem overwhelming and insurmountable, and you're less likely to do it. So making small changes and sustainable changes can play a huge role in getting you going and starting to have longer term impacts. For example, if you're working on simple strengthening activities, if I was to tell you had to go to the gym for 2 hours a night for the next 5 days, I don't know if you'd listen to me. Or you might make it 5 days. I know I probably wouldn't even make it that long. But if I told you every hour get up from your desk and do 10 sit to stands from a chair, you're now working on your core, working on your balance, and getting good strength training in those legs. And for those of us as we're aging, having that gravity and that strength training is what keeps us from falls, what helps us avoid osteoporosis. So doing those small things can make a huge difference. It's the same as it goes through with the cardiovascular health. Going for a run is a lot more insurmountable than getting up and taking a 10-minute walk and starting where you are, or having a goal to train for something small. 3 months from now, you're now working on your heart health and your weight. And if it's too much, you're just not going to stick with it.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the preparation part is a big thing, and it's probably important for a lot of people to sort of think about with bowls. I guess most of the time when we talk about competition, it's usually either a long weekend or maybe a couple-day competition. So is there any sort of tips or, I guess, ideas you might have for preparing someone for maybe one of these big competitions when they're coming into them?
Good question. I think number one, while you're going to be outside, bring sunscreen. And in that vein of thought, simple things like planning ahead and packing your kit and your gear ahead of time, not at the last minute, saves you that anxiety and that stress you're already going into a weekend that's going to require strategy and focus, and having all your mental focused on that. So if you're rooting around for a toothbrush the night before, and that your anxiety could go up with that one. And definitely a good night's sleep. I'm sure everyone's excited and harder to get to sleep, but making the effort to kind of relax the day before, have a good bedtime routine so that you wake up rested and totally ready to take it on. Easier said than done, I know.
It is. It's good advice, though. Kind of going along that line of thought, we're out in the sun. Usually no shade is to be found in a lot of clubs. We constantly hear, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. We're telling people to keep drinking, but obviously there are a few that don't. And we can get into the kind of heat stroke and possibly passing out situations. When someone's getting into that late stage of, something's going to happen, how do you manage that and help them?
So I think getting them out of the sun, if possible, to a spot where they can cool down and get their core temp down is going to be key. Even if it's having a hat available and a fan where they can just start to bring down the temp would be a good thing. Definitely getting them access to hydration as quickly as possible. Sometimes if we're sweating a lot and we're getting to that point where we're that hot, we might be low in some electrolytes. Having a package of simple electrolyte powder is a great idea for something to have, for us just to have on hand at the event. And if someone is getting close to passing out, try to get them as low down to the ground as you can. So either less of a distance to go down if they are going to fall. And if there is someone who has started to pass out, or they're feeling really lightheaded, sometimes lying down and getting those legs elevated just to help some of that blood flow get back to the brain can bring them back pretty quickly. And have someone there trained in CPR at any sporting event. Know where your AEDs are.
Yeah, helpful tips, because I think as unfortunate as it is, I think most lawn bowlers, competitive lawn bowlers, have probably seen a person who's gotten too much sun and sort of had those sort of scenarios. So definitely useful tips to kind of be aware of, because I don't know if every club necessarily has the CPR trained individuals, but to sort of at least be aware of what you can do to help a person is obviously helpful. You did sort of touch on electrolyte powder and sort of that aspect. So I guess common thing we always see with the sport is people like to sort of have supplements or maybe different medications that they take to sort of maybe not necessarily enhance themselves, but sort of assist themselves to play better. So is there any sort of like recommended, I guess,
supplements that maybe you might have, or something you maybe recommend if a person's maybe trying to keep their energy up, keep their focus levels up, things like that?
Yeah. So in general, we should all focus on getting enough vitamin D. Your teams are going to be out there getting lots of sun on those weekends, which is great because that's how we get a bit of our vitamin D. But overall, especially here in Alberta, we tend to run on the lower side of vitamin D. So for bone health, we do suggest, especially during our winter month, vitamin D is a great supplement to keep our bones strong and healthy later in life. Same for calcium. We know we aim to get 1,200 milligrams of calcium a day from all sources. So that includes your food and your cottage cheese and your yogurt. That's a general rule. Having a simple electrolyte powder or a tab like Noon on hand is a good idea, just so that you have access to it, and making sure that it's the right kind of electrolyte powder if you have diabetes or not. Some of those electrolyte drinks have a sneaky amount of sugar in there. So just making sure you're purchasing or using one that works for you depending on your diabetic status. Other supplements that I like is magnesium. Magnesium is a great supplement if you get restless legs after an event. Sometimes when we're out in the sun and we're a little low on our electrolytes, or we've worked hard and we're cramping, a little bit of magnesium before bed can be helpful. We just watch for some individuals where it can make your bowels a little more on the loose side, which for some people is a wonderful thing. But again, pick based on your own health status. And then when you're out in the sun all day, especially, if you have any medications that make you more prone to sun damage, so there are certain antibiotics and there's certain skin products that can be much more dangerous for sunburns when you go out into the sun all day. So if you're on anything that you question whether you should be out there or you should keep using it for that weekend, ask your family doctor. And if you're on any cardiac medications that might either drop your blood pressure low or might make you more prone to dehydration, again, check with your family doctor just to make sure what you're doing is safe and you've got a good strategy.
Kind of my final question, just in general, some people have a lot of anxiety seeing doctors or going to get their health checked, just not only just because they may have something wrong, but they may be afraid that they'll find something wrong and they don't want to know about it. For patients that you see and the help that you give people, what should people take away from seeing someone like yourself that will be just a big benefit, and why should they actually be proactive rather than reactive?
Think of it as having someone in your corner that can sit with you and not only look at age-appropriate screening at any stage in life, then that includes heart, diabetes, age-specific cancers, mental health, substance use. We're there to say, you at your age and you in your state of life, these are the things that we should look out for. And then we're also there to help tailor it to you, to say, based on your family history, I don't want to be an alarmist. I don't want to make you worry. But if we know that there's something that we can look for based off what mom or dad had, and we can prevent a poor health outcome 20 years down the road, that is absolutely what we're here for. I like to speak with my clients and find out the way that they like to get health information. I have some clients who love all of the scientific information and have done tons and tons of research before they even see me. And then I have clients who, they just want to know, what are we working on? So if I say, I'm worried about your heart, or I'm worried about your knees, that's enough for them. And then we talk and we make joint decision-making on what we are going to investigate. And if we do look into something, are we going to do something about it? It's really about a relationship and about a conversation. And really, we live long lives now. It's one big journey. And no matter where you are, I want 20 years down the road to be awesome for you. So yeah, I know it can be anxiety provoking. And I have a lot of people say, I don't want to know if you find something, or I don't want to know just in case, but it gives us the opportunity to make a change now.
So we know Harrison has a team of professionals that do many different things. So are there any particular, I guess, things or diagnoses that you guys assist people with typically that I guess a lot of the members or bowlers are typically of the senior demographic? So is there any sort of, I guess assistance you give to that sort of demographic and maybe benefits that the Harrison team might have?
Yeah. When I think about aging well, and I think about how I want to be myself, or how I want my clients or my patients to experience life, is with quality. And that means managing chronic conditions, being up and walking and mobile, having my cognitive skills still in place, and being able to enjoy activities that I'm part of, like lawn bowling. So I am supremely lucky as a family doctor to have a team that works with me and works with all of our clients on those goals. For example, being able to walk and not have a hip fracture, 40 years down the road when I'm out on the green, is osteoporosis prevention. And I get to work with our dietitian to make sure you're getting enough calcium from your diet, and making sure with physiology that you have solid balance, and that you are doing, weight bearing on both your lower extremities, but your upper extremities too, where we have, bone changes as well. So simple things like, the physiologist taught me all about weighted vests and how that can actually help my clients and with their upper extremities and getting that good bone strength. I have an amazing nurse that I get to work with every day, and she is consistently in touch with our clients who have chronic conditions such as diabetes, and connecting to say, hey, can we get your blood checked? How's it going at home? I'm actually going to reconnect you with our dietitian because I think our sugars are creeping up. And so let's make a change as a team. We review everyone together, and you get the whole team on your side, rather than just one individual. And we like to use the whole person and the whole body, including mental health. If we have a mental health navigator who's amazing, and it's to not just say everything is a medicine. It's the whole approach to your health that I think is great, and it certainly makes my job a whole lot easier.
So I guess, was there any other questions you wanted to ask today, Daryl?
No, that was perfect.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Day. We do appreciate the insight and sort of the information. It was very helpful for us to sort of, I guess, see the benefits of obviously preventative health, and then sort of everything you're talking about there, where going to see a doctor isn't necessarily a bad thing, because they are obviously in your corner and sort of trying to help you out, and better health outcomes for you as well. So thanks again for joining us. Harrison Healthcare is one of the primary sponsors of the Canadian Bowler Open this year. We'd like to thank them, and thank you for joining us again. And thanks for coming.
My pleasure. You can teach me how to be a much better lawn bowler.
Anytime. Definitely.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we're back. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. Daryl and I both really enjoyed that interview there with Dr. Day. It was quite fun to sort of get sort of the background and sort of the information on a few of those topics. I learned a lot through all three of our interviews, so I actually quite enjoyed getting to know each of the healthcare professionals there. What do you think there, Daryl?
I think we may have made those 3 videos specifically for Cam.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he does absolutely nothing that's in any of those videos, but it's all really good information. I took something away from every single one of them, and hopefully for those of you out there that are watching, you've picked up some tips, or maybe it even just got you to think like, oh, maybe I should be doing this or I should be doing that, and anything that's a bonus to you is definitely what we're going for.
Yeah, we're very excited to work with Harrison Healthcare. To just do one last spiel, so Harrison Healthcare provides personalized, team-based primary care focused on disease prevention and management. Their innovative, compassionate care approach optimizes Canadians' health and well-being through service excellence. So Harrison Healthcare is the prize sponsor for the Canadian Bowler Open. Their sponsorship is going to increase the prizes that are being awarded to the players for the singles and the tag team pairs. They're also going to be presenting the checks during the event. We'll have those fancy novelty checks, I guess, present to give to the winners, and that's being sponsored through Harrison Healthcare. So we do really appreciate their support. They do have locations in Calgary, Vancouver, and they're opening one in Toronto in October 2025. And also another one in Calgary in October 2025. So definitely do check out their website, www.harrisonhealthcare.ca. They do have lots of great info, and those healthcare professionals you see are just a couple of the many that they offer. So if you are serious about your health or want to take your health a little more seriously, we do recommend looking them up. They're great professionals.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if we're going back into it, Canadian Bowler Open. We do have quite a few sponsors. We've been blessed this year to be helped by Bob Selsler with our, I guess, sponsorships that we've been able to recruit. He's been able to help us out a lot this year, well, immensely, bringing quite a few different groups. Maybe I'll let you sort of go through who are all of our sponsors there, Daryl.
Yeah, we have a number of them. Harrison Healthcare, as we talked about before, Wellings of Calgary, Sam Korea Real Estate, Pownell Wealth Management Group, part of the RBC Wealth Management Group, Deerfoot Inn and Casino, who's our accommodation sponsor, Mock Energy Services Limited. They helped us out with our polos for this year. They were the sponsor of those awesome purple player shirts that we're selling. Stanley Park LBC showing up with the sponsorship and supporting their province and their fellow clubs. So we really do appreciate them. Village Brewery, helping keep Calgary Lawn Bowling Club stocked, and also sponsoring the opening players banquet with a beer tasting, which I'm sure a lot of our players will really appreciate. Bowls in Canada, obviously we talk about them every show, the Henselite dealer in North America. Fix Auto has the 4 locations are helping us out with some transportation. They're going to be providing us with a few trucks that we can use to transport players around Calgary and to the event. And SP Arms, usually you see them in Australia, you hear about them in Australia, but they have worldwide coverage. They are providing a lot of vouchers to our players to get some of their protection gear for sun stuff. So some really fantastic sponsors. Did I miss anything there, Mike?
No, I think you're covering our primary sponsors there. So that board that you got there is the primary sponsors of the event. I'm going to go into a little more detail with a few of them here just to sort of highlight what sort of sponsorship they are giving us. So you talked about it. Fix Auto is our transportation sponsor. So Fix Auto, Airdrie, Okotoks, Deerfoot, and Strathmore, specializing in expert collision, dent, and scratch repairs with quality, efficiency, and customer care. So their website is www.fixauto.com. So they are going to be providing us with some transportation, a couple trucks to, one, get things to the green, which is obviously important. Daryl and I will have a fair bit of stuff to set up and transport around. So we're very excited to be having Fixed Auto on board for that. And then obviously you're not from a drivable distance of Calgary. So for you to have a vehicle for the couple of days will be very helpful, because I'll have my own vehicle. I'm able to drive from Saskatchewan. You on the other hand, might take a couple days. So probably just better to not need the vehicle. So very excited to have Fix Auto on board. We also have Pownall Wealth Management Group. So you sort of talked about it. They are the sponsors of the King and Queen of the Green Award. Had I been better prepared, I see if it's in arm ranks. No, I don't have it. I have those belts, those little mini belts that we're going to be awarding to the winners. So Pownall is sponsoring the King and Queen of the Green Award. They provide bespoke family wealth solutions, including tailored investment strategies, financial planning, and advice to grow and protect your financial assets. So we'll post their website in the description. It'd be a little much for me to list it off here, but they are the sponsor for the King and Queen of the Green. It's going to increase the prize fund for that award. So we're very excited to have that contribution from them, because it's just going to be that little extra thing. So the players there are really to duke it out, try and play in both events, win each event, or do as well as you can in each event, because the total that you do, or we have a sort of a scoring system, will determine who gets a fairly sizable award at the end. The other one we want to highlight, this one is, you did talk about the Mock Energy Services. So they're the sponsor of our polo shirt. So if you do purchase a Canadian Bowler shirt, their logo is on every shirt this year. We're very excited they were able to sponsor our polos this year. Mock Energy Services specializes in transporting liquefied petroleum gases and fluids safely and efficiently across Western Canada and the US, ensuring reliable energy logistics solutions. So very happy to work with them. Their website is mockenergyservices.com. So do check them out if you are in that industry. They're very good guys to work with, and we can't speak more highly enough of them. So very happy to work with them. Yeah, so Canadian Bowler Open, I guess if we're kind of going into general with it for everyone listening here, I guess an announcement we could do per se is we are going to be running a live draw live on the Canadian Bowler channel here. So if you have time, have we narrowed the date, Daryl? I think I've thrown it out. I don't know if we confirm Thursday is the day.
I think Thursday is the day we're going to do it. So this Thursday evening night, we will definitely post the time and put a notification holding place on our YouTube channel. But we will be doing the live draw. So if you want to see who's playing who, where you end up, and get an idea of where you're going to be playing, because we do have two venues for the singles. So if you're in a singles event, you could be at Calgary, you could be at Rotary to kick off the days. Definitely tune in. We'll be having some breakdown of matchups depending on who's playing, some player information, and we'll just be having a load of fun seeing who's dropping in where, who's playing who, and what those early matchups are going to look like. It should be a load of fun, and we'll talk about some of the stuff that we'll be doing during the event as well, and answer all your questions. If you have questions about the format, if you have questions about who's there and what's going on, we'll answer all those questions as well.
Yeah, no, you said it well there. I'm very excited for a lot of the aspects that we've kind of arranged for the Canadian Bowler this year. There's quite a variance of stuff. The Welcome Player Social is a big thing I'm excited to talk about or promote again. Like all of our players that are there, we have the opportunity to meet these sponsors. Like we're very excited to be working with them, and that Welcome Player Social, we're going to have a lot of them present to meet you and sort of talk to you about their products, obviously. So definitely, if you're coming to Canadian Bowler Open, or even if you're from Calgary, come check that out, because we would really recommend coming to see these sponsors that have graciously contributed to our tournament. I think Daryl talked about it. We do have complimentary beer tasting from Village Brewery. So if I say free beer, I think that's not a problem. A lot of people should be attracted to that. We also have Wellings of Calgary that's going to be catering the event. So we're going to have complimentary food, alcohol, and non-alcoholic beverages. So Wellings will be able to provide, if your jam isn't free beer. But definitely come check it out, because you'll be able to interact with all these different sponsors that we're very thankful to be working with, very appreciative of what they're giving to the event this year. It's just going to allow our event to keep growing, keep getting bigger every year. And we do really appreciate all those sponsors immensely.
I was gonna say, just think of it. You can come and see two icons from the very specific lawn bowling podcast universe. I mean,
Yes.
where else are you gonna get that?
Yeah, and like the other thing, like if I'm just trying to attract or really draw people to it, is we do have a fair amount of door prizes that we're also going to be handing out as well. So
Yeah.
as I sort of said, big thanks to Bob Selzler, who's been helping us out here. He's been able to attract quite a variance of door prizes as well. So for the players that are there, you're going to have a lot of opportunities to win some pretty cool stuff during the event. Just to highlight the different companies that have donated things for our door prizes. We have Sunshine Village Ski and Snowboard Resort, Revita, they're an energy tea company, Trail Appliances, so some appliances, the Calgary Surge, which is their basketball team out there in Calgary, Big White Ski Resort, V-Gain Nutrition, which is a vegan supplement company, and Mindful Food, which is again another sort of that avenue. So for food, SP Arms, we sort of touched on them earlier. They've got some vouchers for their products, and then Sunterra Market and Village Brewery. So very excited. We have lots of door prizes, lots of things to sort of give away to the players. So if you had a fun time last year, it's going to be even more fun this year.
Absolutely.
Okay. I guess so one thing I will maybe dwell on, our waiting list for the tournament has shrunk. So if you were on that list, it has significantly shrunk. Not to say that we expect it to fully disappear. If you are in Calgary and you want to just toss your name on that list, it's probably not a terrible idea. Because we've gone through probably over half of our waiting list at this point. So I'd suspect some of the people on that list just wouldn't be available on a couple days notice. So we might be able to fast forward to certain names if you're on that waiting list. So if you are interested in the event, probably toss your name on that waiting list, because there could be potential maybe to play last minute if someone's partner isn't available for the pairs, or maybe if someone who's just not able to play the singles for whatever reason. We want to have the draw run the way we're going to be planning it, because we're doing a whole live show around it. We want it to work. So definitely toss your name on that waiting list if you are interested, because it would probably be worth your while in the end if we did maybe have to tap your shoulder.
Yeah, and for next year, getting on and getting in early, even if you don't quite make the main draw of registration right away, getting on that top 10 on the waiting list has been beneficial to a lot of people the last 2 years, just because we've had some people drop for health issues, family issues, work, whatever it is. There's always opportunities to sneak in there, because we do have 64 spots. So every once in a while somebody will have to pull out. So definitely for next year, if you're thinking about it, when we announce it, definitely get your name in there if you want to come, because the spots fill up fast, but the waiting list fills up fast as well.
Okay. Well, is that all we had to cover today, Daryl?
I think so.
Awesome.
Really excited for the live draw one. We get be a little more casual, don't have to do results and all that stuff, and we can just have some fun and do a draw.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. Anyone who's attending the event, it's probably worth your while to tune in, because you'll be able to find out where you're playing. Obviously, if you're in the singles, 2 different venues, so probably a little bit of interest there. And then as we go through it, we're going to be able to figure out maybe who you play in your first round type of a thing. So Daryl and I will hopefully be able to highlight some of our big matches. So we'll be excited to sort of bring that to you. And then obviously we're in the national season. We're a week away from the Canadian majors, got juniors and everything too. So it can be an exciting couple of weeks here.
Absolutely. Lots of bowls to come. We're winding down in the year, but that doesn't mean that good bowls has gone. I'm excited for the Canadians. There's a bunch of exciting matchups that I'm really interested in. So I'll be watching that closely.
Yeah, had the field been released, we obviously would have talked about it, but doesn't look like it's there, even though I think we've probably pieced together most of it. You always want to sort of see the official one before you start highlighting things. So maybe we'll get a Well, and we're not getting another episode before the Canadians, so we'll have the results to show you probably in a week or two, maybe before the Canadian Bowler Open. Who knows? But
Yeah, absolutely.
one last reminder: if you are here, please do hit those like, comment, subscribe buttons. Do appreciate any of the buttons you hit there. Very helpful for us. Just going to keep pushing this snowball that is the Canadian Bowler forward. Hopefully next year we're going to just keep seeing the Canadian Bowler Open get bigger and better. So all those times you're hitting those buttons, interacting with us does help us immensely. Okay. So that's it, Daryl. That's it. That's all.
That's it.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And with that, may all your bowls be touchers. See ya.
Yeah.